say, kids, what time is it?
Hey, week 3, huh?
This is flying by already.
I know. It's a cliche that people say it's like the football season flies by, but it really does.
It really does. It's not fair. Next week will be, there's the added game this year. But next week will actually be the end of sort of technically the first quarter of the season.
Yeah, their first quarter, yeah.
We'll have to look at our compiled records at that point, but just to bring the audience up to speed, you got another game on me, man. You went 11-5, and I
like
went
last year.
10-6. Yeah, it'll swing back and forth.
I know, that's what I mean. It'll swing back.
It's gonna swing back this week, dude. I'm gonna blow you out of the water.
Oh, maybe. I mean, that's.
You're doing well. I thought I had you this week. I was like, oh. I kind of had the same problem with the late games in a way.
I actually had in this week. I think I got every single not every single 4:00 game. Obviously, the night game I didn't get, but the 4:00 or 4:25 games I got.
Yeah,
were all right.
Tom Brady hosed me. Thanks, Tom.
That was the one.
that was the one, wasn't it? That was different. Yeah. So,
I mean, that was one of the ones. There was 3 differences. I know we must have split the other 2.
Yeah. I mean, well, let's get into some talking points. What stuck out to you about week 3?
Speaking of Brady, I enjoyed that game the most. I think the Rams and the Bucks at the Rams. I think like when I made that pick, it was more like a personal thing. Like I just want to see them lose a game. It wasn't even like I had any kind of like insight into it. I mean, obviously the Rams are a good team, and I think we both picked them to be up there. I think you actually picked them to come in first.
Yeah.
And I actually picked San Francisco, which was probably a mistake at this point, but who knows? But this game, I kind of enjoyed this game because it's like you finally saw Tampa Bay after a long run from late last season to now, just kind of scratching their heads a little bit. And it kind of it started off a little slow, but then Stafford and that offense, the Rams offense, caught fire, and they scored on. They went on like 6 straight drives. Now, where is the Tampa Bay defense? Is what I'm asking. I don't think they've shown up this year yet.
That vaunted defense was nowhere to be found.
Yeah, they couldn't stop them. They couldn't get off the field. 6 straight scoring drives, and then it was like, then Brady was going uphill, and I know he's calm, cool, and collected. He's been in this many times, come from behinds, but the Rams they didn't get the foot off the pedal. They kept going, and they know how to finish the game, and which is great for them. I didn't see much of any kind of problems with them. Oh, and then on this formula can't work very long. Tampa Bay's running game, what the heck? I mean, I know they were kind of coming from behind, for a lot of the game, but even early on, they couldn't get the running game at all. And so when that happens, Brady kind of just is under a lot of pressure. I think he was actually the leading runner with like 14 yards.
Yeah, he was. It's weird. Well, Ronald Jones is in the doghouse,
right? Yeah,
for missing a block, and I think that's a mistake. I think he's the
best. I know. I think so too.
It's weird. It seems like Bruce Arians doesn't like him for some reason. I think there's a personal thing going on with those two. Because he tends to go with Fournette over him a lot.
Yeah, I see that.
And then knock on Fournette when he came from Jacksonville is that he was lazy. So, I don't know. And they also have Gio Bernard there from Cincinnati.
Wow, that's right. They have. Oh wow, yeah. But that they couldn't get the running game at all going.
No, and I brought it up last week how it seems like Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp have bonded, and we saw a lot more of that this week. It reminds me of Aaron Rodgers in and what's his Devontae Adams.
Devontae
It's the
Adams,
same kind of chemistry. They're just
and Mahomes and oh gosh, I forgot his name, but
Hill, Tyreek Hill, and,
yeah,
or Jake Josh Allen with Diggs. I mean, when like Ben and Antonio used to have in Pittsburgh. When those guys, they just know, like they don't even have to look. They just they throw it before the receiver's even done with the route. They just know that timing is there. And it seems like Stafford and Cooper Kupp just have that relationship going.
And you'd think the defensive game plan would try to maybe roll the coverages over, but I think they have some injuries in their secondary, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was out there. And I looked at going to the game. I did. I looked at going to the game, but the worst seat in the house was being sold for close to $150. And I was like, I don't like either team enough to pay that much money. Yeah. It would have been two of us, myself and my daughter, and no, I don't think so.
And I can imagine. I was going to say one of the aspects of this game, which was big that we didn't see last year, the crowd was really. I mean, that was like an actual force in this game. This was like from 2 years ago when the crowds were big. Before we had the virus come, the shutdowns come through. The crowd was like. I mean, it was almost like it was back to the way it was. It's a big crowd there.
That place is enormous. I drove by and took some pictures of it Sunday night.
That's right.
It is amazing. I mean, it's holds about 100,000, I think, right?
Jeez.
So, yeah. And it's a Rams town. I went to Randy's Donuts down the street. You've seen Randy's Donuts, the one with the big donut on the roof, and it's in all the movies. It's right down the street, 2 miles away. And, of course, official Rams donut shop and hashtag Rams Nation, and nobody cares about the Chargers out there, and it's sad. And LA's got two awesome teams.
It's very sad.
But most of the people only see one. They only see one. Conversely, New York has two really bad football teams. So we'll get to that. But
yeah.
Wow. I want to talk about the Sunday night game a little bit.
Yep.
Specifically, the last drive. So, I got to give Garoppolo credit, man. Chris Collinsworth said it himself. He's like, this guy wants to be a big-time quarterback. This guy wants to be, a household name. Here's your chance.
Yep.
You're playing Aaron Rodgers on national TV. You got 2 minutes, 3 timeouts. The game's in your hands. Take the team down the field and score. And he did exactly that.
Yeah, he did.
He did a great job getting them down the field. The problem was... And I don't blame him so much. They left 37 seconds on the clock, but what are you going to do? You got to score. You needed a touchdown, right? They were down by, was it 4 at the time? Or 5. It was 5.
It was 5, yeah.
Because then they went up by, no, it was 6. It was
actually 6 because they needed the extra point.
They went up by 1. Yep. They went up by 1 because then the field goal they lost by 2. Another primetime game that was 1 or 2 points. And the last drive. So Rodgers comes back on the field, 37 seconds, no timeouts. And San Francisco, Shanahan, what are you doing? They play a soft zone.
We know where it's going.
What have we said since we were kids? The prevent you from winning defense. The prevent defense prevents you from winning. These guys go into a soft zone. And Devontae Adams, the only guy on the team who can catch a ball. The only guy. Besides tight end Tanyan, gets open twice.
You had to know who's going to there. It's like, what the heck is
right in the
wrong
seam?
with you?
Boom, bang, 2 passes down, 50-yard kick, game over, you lose. Unbelievable how stupid that defensive call. I couldn't believe it. I'm sitting in my hotel room going, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing?
Damn, I would have been 12-4 that week. Damn.
What are you doing?
San Francisco.
Yeah, you knew there was one. Collinsworth kept saying it. Everybody in the house knows who's getting the ball.
Yep.
What are you doing?
First of all, I did see a lot of this game earlier on, and I was like, that San Francisco, until that towards the end, that San Francisco offense, like they couldn't get anything done. And the Packers defense is not that good.
No, it's not.
It's like it's almost like they purposely are trying to put obstacles in front of it. I don't know what they were doing. It's like some basic things they couldn't execute. It's like, what is going on with this offense? Are they really that bad? And then going back to that last drive, which finally took the lead. I don't know why, but it's like I see this image in my head over and over again. It's like that last play where he hits Kittle like at around the 5-yard line, and he like bulldozes, and I'm like, maybe you should have gone down there. not that that's a good thing. I'm saying to myself, because I looked at the clock and I'm like, well, if they took a couple more plays, it would have been great.
No, one more play.
This is before Rodgers came back. I was thinking, wow, he really tried to get into that end zone, which you have to do as a player. I get it. But maybe it would have worked out for them better if he went down at that.
I thought that too. The fullback, when he got hit at the 1-yard line and then bulldozed the rest of the way in, I was like, I get it.
Yeah,
you got to score. You don't know. There's no guarantee you're going to get in if you get.
I know that's the other side of it.
There's no guarantee, and they don't have their best running back right now, Mostert. So
that's true. I can't think. Yeah, I can't think. They got to try the hardest.
You brought up the key. The key to the San Francisco offense is Kittle, and they don't. They. It seemed like they were reluctant to go to him. I mean, maybe they were rolling double coverage on him. I don't know.
Maybe.
I mean, but again, with that last drive, game on the line, who did he go to? Kittle for like a 40-something yard gain.
Yep.
They got them right down into the red zone. So, I was just shocked because San Francisco is so well coached. that they let Aaron Rodgers do that. That was amazing.
Yeah, that was definitely the last one. I mean, I was still upset most of the game that the San Francisco offense wasn't able to do more. But
yeah, they looked like they were running in mud for three quarters. Sure. Late in the third quarter, they started to catch their bearings. They were down by 2 scores.
Yeah,
and then they chipped away at it, and it made it a game toward the end. But yeah, Deebo Samuel came up big there in the second half, but yeah, it was shocking to me too. It was shocking to me, but it's still early. It's week 3. People are still kicking the tires on a lot of what they're doing here. What do you got next?
Except for the New York teams, they've already kicked everything.
Yeah, no, the tires are flat.
Just kidding.
No
well, speaking of, you were just talking about how LA has two teams, and my second favorite game was the Chargers at Kansas City, and I saw something from the Chargers that made me think, wow, this team can do something. Maybe not even this year, but they're going to do something special one of these years. The way they're playing, and I know. Just last week they lost to the Cowboys. I get it, but they play this Chiefs team exactly how you need to play them to win in Arrowhead. By the way,
yes.
And from first of all, from the Chiefs' point of view, it's almost like they know what they can do. They think they can wind up winning no matter what happens early on. It's almost like they're all nonchalant. It's like 3 turnovers in the first 3 drives that got them down, and then they came back and kind of took control of the game, took the lead, and it's almost like in their heads it's like, yeah, this is usually what happens. Sometimes we go down and we always come back and take care of business. And once they took control of the game, it's almost like, oh, let's go on automatic. Let's kind of take the foot off the pedal or whatever. But the Chargers, well, they lived up to their name. They charged back, and they play. They didn't just lay down like what happens with opponents when they're like, oh, we did everything we could, and the Chiefs are still beating us. How can we have 4 turnovers and not the Chargers? I mean, I saw some gutsy calls. 4th and 4. I think it was like at their own 39.
4th and 9 because they had a
and then
penalty on the play.
Once they had that penalty, I'm like, well, they're now they're gonna punt. No, they still went for it. And it's almost like you gotta do some of these things in order to like really beat the Chiefs, and they did.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe they executed the 4th and 9, and they forced a lot of their defense forced a lot of problems from the Chiefs offense. 4 turnovers. And Herbert did not, he kept going full blast until the end. That's how you got to beat the Chiefs.
I love what Brandon Staley said about Herbert. He said we have a gangster quarterback. I love it. And the Chargers, I for the last 2 to 3 seasons, I've never understood why they're not using Mike Williams more. The guy is a monster.
Yeah.
And Keenan Allen's great. But Keenan Allen's long in the tooth, right? And he's been their feature receiver. I'm like, this guy Williams is so good. He's giant. Just give him the ball. And it seemed like they're finally figuring that out. Maybe the new coaching staff said, hey, this guy, we got to use this guy. He's 6'5" or whatever. He's a monster. Just give him the ball. I think the Chiefs have bought fully into their press.
Yeah.
They think they just got to show up. And they think that...
Yeah, you put it perfectly how I went on this long-winded thing just to say that, yes.
Exactly. And they... Sorry.
And no, that's exactly what it is. They bought into the press. Yeah.
And they've been playing from behind every week. And this goes back to last year. They were playing from behind all the time in the playoffs even.
Yep.
Because I think they're that arrogant at this point. They think...
No problem.
We can make mistakes, and we can drop balls, and we can be lazy because we're just so awesome. We'll just come back and blow people's doors in. And I think they're getting a wake-up call here. And if Andy Reid doesn't refocus them soon, they could lose control of this season in a hurry.
Yep. It'll get way behind.
You know, it looks to me like these guys are they're full of themselves. And they think they're undefeatable. And now they sit at 1-2. So it's going to get interesting.
Yes,
and Raiders, and poor Andy Reid, I'm glad he's okay. I guess he got hospital. Yeah. He got driven away in an ambulance because he had heart pain or something. Andy, you gotta fix the diet and lose some weight, dude. I know it's a high pressure job and you gotta work 15 hours a day and you gotta eat bad because you're at the office all day. I get all that, but dude, Andy Reid might be one of the most likable guys in the whole league. Like, I don't know anybody who hates Andy Reid.
Right.
No one wants to see Andy Reid drop dead on the sidelines of a heart attack. So please, Andy, fix your health, sir. That was a good one.
Yeah, and in this, what you just said, in this division, it's like you can't afford to slip behind. You got 2-3-0 teams now, and that's not even the Chargers.
Yeah, right.
2-1.
Right.
I don't think the Chargers will have an easy out from any of these teams. And they have to play each of these teams twice too. So
yeah,
we'll see.
The real are the Broncos an aberration? They beat both New York teams, and we'll see.
We'll see what their defense can do against the Chiefs because that's what they're going to need. So.
Yeah. I guess I'd like to talk about. I want to talk about the Jets' problems, really. Actually.
Yeah.
I know it's way too early to call this, but Zach Wilson looks horrible. I mean, he looks horrible. He's got like 7 picks now. His quarterback rating's like 50 something.
Yeah, 2 straight weeks he's looked that bad. Yeah.
I think he has only 2 touchdown passes, and they were in week 1, right?
Yep.
Or 1 was in week 1. Did he throw one? They got shut out this week.
Well, they got shut out. Trying to think if he threw one against the Patriots. I don't know.
He must have thrown one against the Patriots, but he looks really bad. Like, you see rookie quarterbacks that make mistakes, but you can tell like there's potential there. I was talking to a friend of mine at the gym today who's a Jets fan, and he's kind of like, uh-oh. Meanwhile, he's watching Sam Darnold. He's 3-0 in Carolina and looks awesome. He looks really good.
Yeah.
Which, I know the Jets turned over their whole coaching staff. It's not the same coaching staff that ruined. Well, it was a different coaching staff that ruined Mark Sanchez that ruined Sam Darnold. Are we looking at the third number 1 pick quarterback to go down here in flames? I mean, again, week 3, I don't want to panic here, but he looks lost.
He does.
They're not. They're at the bottom of the league in every offensive category. They can't score any points
to help them out. Yeah, I don't know.
Coming into the season, you heard about how their offensive line was going to be great and protect him and give him all this opportunity. I'm not seeing it. I feel bad. I mean, even Mac Jones, who's struggling in New England, his stats are far better.
Yep.
Zach Wilson just looks putrid. Almost as bad. I'm going to tie this into the Bears. Justin Fields.
I knew this was coming.
Now, Justin Fields, I feel really bad. Now, this is play calling problem. You've got an offensive line that's probably the second worst offensive line behind Pittsburgh's. Pittsburgh has by far the worst offensive line in football. Justin Fields got sacked 9 times. He got hit, 16 times the other day? This is a mobile quarterback. This is a guy who can run, and he's getting creamed. What are you doing? Like, can't you design a game plan that plays to his strengths? They've got a game plan that's like for quarterbacks like Nick Foles and Andy Dalton who stand there like a statue, and Mitch Trubisky, and just get their clocks cleaned, right? This guy, you got to get him out of the pocket. You're going to destroy his career. What are you doing over there? I've said it before. Matt Nagy's a shitball coach. He's a shit coach. They have too much talent on that team to be this freaking bad. I mean, their offensive line sucks, but that's fixable. He's got to go. Nagy's got to go. He's bad.
Yeah, a couple of those sacks were actually like designed runs by him, but he didn't make it to the line of scrimmage, so it's considered a sack, which is kind of, I don't know.
They didn't look like designed runs because by the time he turned around, he got crushed.
I know.
Oh my God, he was under siege all day. How many did Myles Garrett get? Myles Garrett got how many sacks?
5?
4 or 5, right?
Or 4.5. Did they get credit for 4.5?
9 sacks. Holy cow, man! That poor kid. You move up to draft him, you're gonna get him killed. What are you doing?
I know it's almost like he's like, oh, you want to clamor for him? Will we put him in? Yeah, but you're not helping him. Don't they have like one of the best receivers in the league there?
They have enough talent. They have Robinson at receiver, and they the running back's name just out of my head. But they're good. Like, they have talent. They have skilled players. Their defense is really good. So I think mine wasn't so much teams as these struggling young quarterbacks, Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, all these high round draft picks.
Yep.
You know, and I'm giving Trevor Lawrence a pass because we knew he was on the worst team in football. That doesn't count. But these other guys who have decent systems around them don't look so good yet. So
Yep.
What do you got?
It's amazing. Well, I mean, last year this game was a wild game, and it's become almost a tradition now. And I'm going to talk about the Dolphins, not getting on their case for losing the game, but just want to mention this game because it was such a wild game. It's like they come out and I didn't get to see the game, but I was like kind of following it along as things transpired. It's like 14. First of all, they're like up 14-0.
Yeah.
And it was kind of deceptive because we go back to how they rely on the big play. Yeah, one was like a 50-something yard pick six. So they always got to rely on something.
We talked about that last week.
Yeah, we did. And then the Raiders finally woke up, and then they came back. I don't know, like 25, the next 25 points or so, like one which included a really weird safety that I don't think it ever happened in NFL history, a pass to a safety, I think. So leave it up to the Dolphins to come up with something new. And then the Dolphins came back, and that was a gutsy drive with a 2-point conversion to tie the game. And I'm like,
another fourth down call too. Well, you had to.
Yeah, another fourth down call.
The game was on the line.
And I want to say that this is going to sound crazy, but I swear this is the truth. At no part during this game did I ever think the Dolphins were going to win. I'm serious. There was no part of me that when they're up 14-0, I don't care. It's way too early to think about that. I knew the Raiders were going to come back, and after they tied it at the end of the regulation, I didn't think they would win. The only little doubt in my head about winning or losing was whether it was going to end up in a tie because they both traded field goals in overtime.
Yes, they did.
And I'm like, oh, it's going to be the first tie now. Oh. But then the Raiders somehow figured out, Carr got him back to the field goal, and that's the end of the game. But it was just, I'm really not trying to get on the Dolphins' case to lose the game or the Raiders. I didn't think the Raiders would have this much of a problem to beat them either. But it was kind of more like this really probably a fun game. I didn't get to watch it. It probably would have been fun to watch, but it was just one of those wild games that you love that the NFL comes up with.
Yeah, another 3-point, 2-point. Yeah, I picked Miami to win that game, and I thought I was a genius for a while. I was like, I got it. I called it. I got to again, the coaching staff in Miami is outstanding. I mean, they had to play what's his name?
Brissett.
Jacoby Brissett.
Jacoby Brissett.
Who looked I know it was only one game, but he looked infinitely more effective than Tua
That's
has.
true. That's true.
And especially calling his own number twice on that last drive to get him into overtime. So, yeah, no, your team looks solid. They've just got to, it's a tough road game. That was a tough road game, and with the injuries piling up. But, yeah.
And they need, it goes back, like we've said this over and over again. If they don't get that really big play from special teams or defense, their offense still isn't good enough to kind of win those games. Just which is totally opposite of what the Raiders' offense right now is good enough to win their games, and so is a lot of other teams, but not the Dolphins. No.
On draft night, I think Miami. I had Miami taking a back. I figured they were picking right around when Pittsburgh did, and I figured if Pittsburgh took Travis Etienne, Miami was going to take Najee Harris, or vice versa. And Miami didn't do that. And I think they really needed to do that. They need a bell cow back.
Yeah.
Because if they can establish some kind of a running game, you can play off play action. You can do a lot of different things. With Tua, you can do RPOs all day long, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So I think that was a mistake on draft day that's going to come back to haunt them right now. So,
yep.
Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? But I think that's the one thing they're missing. Over the past couple of years, they've been giving guys like Drake and all these guys away. They haven't stuck with a running back in years. So it seems like that might be their problem. They have the running back by committee thing, and it's
not working.
They need a closer. They need someone who can take the air out of the ball when they have a lead, right?
Yep.
Which we saw. This was not on my list, but real quickly, the Dallas Cowboys Monday night. Elliott and
they don't have two. They don't have one. They have two.
Pollard, they had the thunder and lightning thing going, right? They both, my God, they both averaged like 6 yards a carry.
Yeah,
this is what hurt Dallas week 1. They only ran 10 times. The last 2 weeks, they've been running the ball effectively, and look at the difference. It seems like I kept saying in the offseason in our preview show, I'm like happy that the running games are coming back in football, and then week 1, nobody ran the ball. Like, I think the leading rusher had like 60-something yards.
Everybody wants to show how flashy.
Everybody wants to show off their super cool off their video game offenses, but I think as the grind of the season is you're gonna have to run the ball. If you want to win in this league, you're gonna have to run the ball. So, and that brings me to my next talking point.
And that's an aspect of the Cowboys that I didn't think was even gonna come. I didn't think their running game was gonna be effective. But I'm like, oh, they'll be okay. They got all those great wide receivers that can go up against anybody. I'm like, but now you're adding that great running game. Oh my gosh.
Well, I mean, the first couple of years they had Elliott, he was clear. I mean, he balanced their offense out, and you saw this week Prescott only had to throw for 260 yards.
Yep.
He didn't have to throw for 500 yards this week. It opens up the whole thing. When you have a balanced offense, we need more balance in this league. Ben Roethlisberger is my next point. 58 pass attempts, and I think all of them were between 3 and 5 yards. And Najee Harris, 19 targets. Your primary running back, your bell cow running back, 19 targets on passes?
Wow.
And he ran the ball for another, paltry, 30, 40 yards again? They are last in the league in rushing attempts, last in the league in rushing yards. They are pathetic. This team is dead. We could put a fork in the Steelers right now. They are done. They are done.
Early.
They're done. Tyler Boyd said they quit. They quit in the game. I did
hear that. Yeah.
Mike Tomlin in his press conference yesterday said they had a down by 2 scores, 4th and 4 or 4th and 8 or something. He throws a little 2-yard out pass to Najee Harris. And for no gain, and they were like, well, why was that called? And he said, we don't have enough plays in the playbook. What are you talking? What are you freaking kidding me, dude?
Really good.
They're hiding a quarterback who's got a shot arm. He's shot. Roethlisberger's shot. He's done. He's all over. Just get him out. Put Dwayne Haskins in. The season's over. This team's gonna win 4 games this year. They are bad. The offensive line is it's a shit show. They're done. They're absolutely done. Roethlisberger can air one out every now and then, but as someone on Pittsburgh radio astutely put it, Babe Ruth hit 3 home runs in his last game. But he couldn't do it consistently all year long anymore, and that's Roethlisberger. Once in a while, he'll step into one, but he's done. And it's right back to last year. It's the same thing. They throw these little dump down passes. And, like Pittsburgh Dad on YouTube says, if you got the word dump in your playbook, that tells you something. That means it's bad play. So the Steelers they're garbage and they're done. They're done. In fact, I want them to only win like 3 games so they can draft a quarterback. Something they've been neglecting for the last 6 years. They thought Ben was going to play forever. Come on, man. So that's my rant.
Yeah, I was surprised how well the Bengals played them. Yeah,
the Bengals are a good team. The Steelers are the worst team in that division.
I remember when we were going through last week. Even though you still stuck with the Steelers, and I was like, I was all confident with. You actually said I'm a little worried about this game. I'm worried about what the Bengals are going to be able to do.
Because the Bengals are trending up and the Steelers are trending down. That was my whole logic, but I still thought the Steelers had enough in place, especially with the defense. And this was the first game in 75 games they didn't get a sack.
Well, Watt is out, right? And I know they have another guy out from the defensive
Devin
line.
Bush.
Yeah.
But
I know.
No,
hey, every team's got to deal with injuries. I mean,
every team's got to deal with injuries, and the fact that the Steelers, half their defense was guys picked up off waivers and scrap heap guys, is going to catch up with them this year. This whole their salary cap issues are going to take them down. They have to plug too many broken bones on this team. They're already being exposed. Their bye is week 7. They're going to be 1-6.
Wow.
Or 1-5. 1-5. So, all right. Your last point. What you got?
Oh, so I remember talking last week as we were picking that could be that week would be a classic. It didn't turn out to be my classic. What was that term I used when the team was like playing a not so good team? I forgot the term I was used.
It's like a trap.
Yeah, trap game. Sorry. Yeah, that was it. Trap game. I was thinking of that. And then I saw the Lions play the Ravens.
You
and
took
I'm like,
my last one too.
I'm
All right,
sorry.
so we'll both do this as the last one.
Yeah, that's fine. There was also the Eagles and the Cowboys that I could have brought up, but we kind of talked about that already. We both could talk about this because I was like so shocked. I was shocked, but then I'm like thinking, Detroit has competed in all 3 games.
Yeah.
So it's like I can't get on their case. I know they're 0-3. I get it, but it's like that's like a competitive 0-3. I was kind of like a little bit impressed about them that they took and they should have. And let's face it, they should have won this game. Putting aside the record-breaking field goal, because obviously they missed a delay of game penalty that would have put them even back further.
Could you believe that?
Yeah,
I mean, like the clock hit 0 and Lamar took another 2 to 3 seconds before he snapped it. Like that was blatant. How did they get away with that?
I don't know. I see that a lot of times and I get the human factor. I see that a lot where TV shows you the clock, and yes, a lot of times the clock goes 0 and they still haven't put the play, but it's like less than like 0.2 of a second later.
Right, it's almost like a tie. Tell. It's like at the same time.
Because the ref has got to. Whoever it is has got to look at the clock and then look down, and then by the time they look down, they're moving. So that's fine. But this was really bad.
This was really bad.
Yeah.
Like he took another couple of snap counts before he, it was long expired.
Yeah, and I totally sympathize with Dan Kimball. He's like, yeah, they're going to apologize, and what good is that going to do?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Well, I don't know why were they so ineffective, Baltimore? I mean, against the Lions most of the game. It's like, was that them like coming off their high and just like, yeah, we got this.
They're beat up too. I mean, let's face it, they're beat up. They do have a lot.
They're like the 49ers of last year, yeah.
And it was a road game. You never know what factors contribute to something like that. But you were saying last week, picking that game, that you wouldn't be surprised if Detroit gave them a fight, and they certainly did.
Yeah.
And the record-breaking field goal hits the crossbar.
Yeah.
And goes over. It was like the Detroit lost by that much,
Yep. Yeah, I actually was in my mind. I was like, I'm not shocked. I will not be shocked at all if Detroit wins this game, like before the game even started, because it's just they've been competitive. So,
yeah. Well, that said, let's get into this week's picks.
Yeah.
Because I got 3 games to make up on
Gotta
you.
catch up now.
And I also I just want to preface, we're recording this. It's like midnight now, after midnight.
Yeah.
I was really tired like half an hour ago. But we start talking football, I get all fired up. I love it.
It's like it's like talking Star Trek or classic Star Trek.
Totally, I get all fired up. I could do this all night.
Yeah, exactly.
Too bad we got work tomorrow. So let's kick this off tomorrow, Thursday.
All right.
Or by the time people watch this, today, Thursday, or they're watching it after Thursday.
Or after.
We got the Jacksonville Jaguars visiting these upstart Cincinnati Bengals tomorrow night, 8:20.
Yeah. I mean, the Bengals are playing well. We just talked about how they beat the Steelers, and now they're home, and Jacksonville's coming in there, and Jacksonville's Jacksonville. They're kind of they got to rebuild. So you gotta think that the Bengals can't be losing this game. So Bengals it is.
Yeah, I got to go with it too. For me, the most shocking thing, I think, too, is Zach Taylor. He had them very competitive last year. In fact, Detroit looks like last year's Cincinnati.
Yeah,
Cincinnati was in every game last year. They were very competitive, and then fourth quarter the wheels would come off. And I wasn't so sure about Zach Taylor, like as a coach. I'm like, I never even really heard of the guy, and no, he's got this team playing solid football, and it's still a mystery to me how they lost to the Bears.
Yeah.
They could have won that game. Joe Burrow threw 3 picks on 3 passes in that game, which is very on Joe Burrow.
Well, thinking about that, it's like, how did they lose to the Bears?
Turnovers.
Well, yeah.
Turnovers. But, and they only lost by a field goal. So, no, the trending up Cincinnati, I'm with you all the way on that one. I can't see them losing at home to Trevor Lawrence, but that's gonna be fun. I haven't seen Trevor Lawrence play yet, so
yeah,
as a pro, so I'm looking forward to that. I mean, he's got to be like, I guess he never lost 2 games in a row in his life until week 2 of the NFL. Like going back to high school, he's never lost.
Get used to it for now.
Yeah, get used to it. Next up, oh boy, Sunday 1:00 Eastern on CBS. The Titans are bringing the hammer to New York.
Are they? Is it?
They're playing the Jets.
Oh my gosh, this game! Oh no. I guess we probably shouldn't be shocked if the NFL turns the tables on us, but there's no way I can pick the Jets on this. The way speaking of trending up, I mean the Titans after the first week loss, they've been like killing it. And I know it's in New York, but they got Henry now going full blast, and their passing game's back, and their defense actually playing decent.
Yeah,
I will be interested to see if the Jets offense have any success here, but you got to pick. I got to go with the Titans. Jeez.
Yeah, I got to go with the Titans too. I mean, Derrick Henry's a wrecking ball. I don't see the Jets doing much with stopping him, and if they do somehow contain him, even it looks like Tannehill is back. He found Julio Jones the last 2 weeks, and he's still got A.J. Brown, and I just think Tennessee's in a good spot right now. They're looking at the rest of the division. You got the Jags eliminated before the season started. Houston, we all thought eliminated before the season started. They've been playing well, but let's face it, eliminated. And the Colts have eliminated themselves, I think, at this point. So, like, Tennessee could put this division away by mid-season.
Yeah, they could kind of just rest their players.
Rest their players, right. I mean, they're going to they might want to go for the home field or a home field game. But they can be very careful, we'll put it that way, and strategic about how they want to handle the second half of the season, make sure they go into the playoffs totally healthy.
I am interested to see whether the Colts are going to make some kind of run at some point, but it doesn't look good.
No, it does not. And we'll get to the Colts when we get to the Colts. Next up, Sunday, 1:00 Eastern Time, the Kansas City Chiefs, the hobbling, limping 1-2 Kansas City Chiefs, travel to Philadelphia to get batteries thrown at them by the Eagles faithful.
Well, maybe they can use those batteries to recharge themselves. Jeez. It's like, can they actually lose 3 in a row?
They can. They're capable. They're making a lot of
Wow.
mistakes.
But you know what? I saw how much success the Cowboys had against the Eagles, and I don't know that much about their defense, but I was shocked. Usually when the Cowboy, these kind of division games, especially in that division, NFC East, are close, and that one wasn't even like close at all. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs because I think they'll have a big game offensively. I am worried about them long term though.
Yeah, I think the Buccaneers wrote the script on how to deal with the Chiefs because you're seeing like the Chargers, the way
Yeah,
the defense, the way the defense is attacking Mahomes, keeping him on the run and keeping him off balance, not letting him really set up and go through his progressions and stuff like that. That's what it looks like to me. Tampa Bay, the way they dissected them in the Super Bowl. Granted, the Chiefs had a banged up offensive line in the
yeah,
Super
that
Bowl,
was start.
but the blueprint is there. Like that's the way you can beat them, and it seems like that's how the teams are attacking them. So, yeah, but I think they're going to clean up their act this week. Like Andy Reid's too good a coach to let them go 1-3. The Eagles are starting to look like who I thought they were going to be, just like a team that's like starting from the ground up again. They've got to
Yeah,
rebuild, and you know what bothers me the most too, is that they're already coming. They're already questioning: is Jalen Hurts the man? They're already doing. He's only started 7 games total in the NFL. Can't you give him a full season before you go? I don't know. Because
he was like an MVP candidate in the first week, and now all of a sudden they want us like get rid of him. It's
they're already
unbelievable.
talking about, do we need to draft another quarterback this year? Like,
Yeah,
what are you talking about? I mean, you're gonna take your bumps and bruises for
yeah,
the first couple of years as a new quarterback. I mean, my God. The one thing Philadelphia needs to do is I think they got to get Devonta Smith more involved. They got
right.
#1 pick. I haven't heard his name at all. I don't know what they're
And
doing.
they didn't use Miles Sanders at all last week too, but I was quite impressed with the Cowboy defense able to contain Hurts that well.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. I think Jalen Hurts is fine. I'm no quarterback guru or anything, but I mean, he's on a team that's
He looked
rebuilding with a
okay.
whole
Yeah,
new coaching staff.
yeah,
He played 4 games last year. They changed out the whole coaching staff. He's
right.
got a whole new. What do you do? How could you criticize? The fans in that city are unbelievable. The fact that they're even questioning that. Next up, 1 o'clock on Fox. The 3-0 Carolina Panthers travel to Dallas to take on
Oh,
the
I
red
know.
hot
Gee,
Dallas Cowboys. This is going to be a game. I'll tell you what, I used to call the Carolina Panthers one of the most boringest teams in football. Not anymore.
nope,
They were
not
fun to
anymore.
watch Thursday night.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I was really think I was gonna have and I still think it's kind of like a very close, even game. But I'm gonna reduce this down to one thing. McCaffrey's not playing. No, is that no?
No, he's not.
Yeah,
He's
no,
not
right.
playing.
I know they didn't put him on our IR, but he's like week to week
He's
or
out
something.
3 weeks or so,
Right.
yeah.
Oh, 3 weeks. Yeah. So I think that'll make a big difference. He's like this. I know we didn't talk about Carolina, but there's probably other running backs or other players in the league that kind of maybe are this use this such a great weapon, but he's like this weapon that kind of like, when you need to finish off like a defense trying to get off the field and give their offense the ball. He just like puts the hammer on. It's like he's so versatile, and that takes a lot away, especially and I think he keeps Darnold comfortable there, having him there. And so I'm a little worried about them offensively without him there, and that's why I'm going to give the Cowboys the edge there.
Yeah, I think the buck stops for the Panthers this week. I think it'll be a good game. It'll be an exciting game. But Dallas at home. You're right about McCaffrey. McCaffrey's the in case of emergency break glass,
Yeah,
right?
that's
I
it.
mean,
That's it.
right. He can do whatever you need him to do. Hand him the ball, throw him the ball, whatever you want him to do. God, I think he could probably play safety too.
Yeah, he probably could.
Kick field goals. He's so versatile. But I don't see Sam Darnold going to Dallas. I mean, it's a nice story so far. Sam's looked really good, and you can see he's confident now. I don't know if you saw any of the post game stuff with him.
Oh yeah,
He's got his swagger back. Last year I remember he was on the Jets bench and his eyes are bugging out. And he's like, I'm seeing ghosts, and now he's like, yeah, we're gonna go out there, he's a different guy. So I like what's going on in Carolina. They're actually fun to watch.
Yeah,
even without McCaffrey, that Chuba Hubbard had a good game, so he might do that again. I mean, Dallas's defense, as we know, is pretty pedestrian. So,
right.
Who knows? But I got Dallas at home. I just think Prescott and all those weapons. If they get into a shootout, they'll win. So I'm with you on that. Next up, oh boy, the other New York team, the 0-3 Giants, travel down to the Bayou, New Orleans. I guess they're hosting their first home game of the year.
Oh right, yep, and just that sentence alone. How are you going to pick against them? Their first actual home game.
Yeah.
And the Giants, I know. Can they find another way to lose? Like, just when you think they found the most exotic,
the New York Giants
ways to lose.
Sorry. I was just making sure it was in the Superdome and a stupid video played.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, it is in the Superdome.
It's like I remember saying this last week. It's like the Giants can't possibly lose this game, and yet somehow they lost to the Falcons at home.
I know.
I just can't pick them right now. I mean, the Saints gotta go with the Saints until the Giants show me they're capable of winning. I guess let's put it that way.
I feel so bad for Daniel Jones because he's playing really well. Yeah. This is not on him. It's like every week you see him and he's like, again? Like, they're making dumb mistakes, bad defensive plays, penalties. Receivers are dropping the ball, penalty. Like, what? What else do you got? Did you see, by the way, Barkley vault over the line last week?
Yes. Yeah.
How does he looked like he was flying. I saw, I don't know which channel, it was either NFL channel or ESPN, put like a Superman cape on him, and he was totally horizontal. It was unbelievable. But they're playing so undisciplined. And now they got to go down to New Orleans where the house is going to be rocking.
Yeah.
Forget about it. Unless Jameis Winston falls apart, I don't see the Saints losing this game.
Yeah, right. I mean, you hope that you see brighter days ahead because Barkley does seem to be coming all the way back to his true form. So
every week he looks a little better. Yeah. So, but I think they're going to be 0-4. That's
a tough place to be.
Yeah.
For your season.
Yeah, bet they wish they were playing the Jets. Next up, the Cleveland Brownies travel up to Minnesota to take on those pesky Vikings at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, this is a really difficult game for me.
Yes, it is.
I think they're both kind of very much alike. Good running game, good passing game. They're both doing well. Both quarterbacks are playing very well. So it's kind of like a pick 'em. I'm just going to go with the Browns because I think they have a better offensive line, and Mayfield's doing. I mean, I can't even say it's a Mayfield thing because I know Kirk Cousins is doing just. It's certainly like the Minnesota loss. It certainly isn't on him, but I got to pick one of them, so I'm going to go with the Browns because I believe they have the better offensive line. But I wouldn't be any at all surprised if it goes either way.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tough call. It's really hard.
Yep.
I've waffled a little bit on it.
Yep.
I think I was going to go with the Vikings at home, but I think Dalvin Cook's in trouble, like injury-wise.
Oh.
I'm looking for it now. I don't see it, but I saw.
Yeah, I did hear that.
I was watching the Yankee game earlier tonight, and they were scrolling, and I saw something about Dalvin Cook. I don't know if he got hurt in practice or what's going on. I don't see it on the NFL website right now, but if Dalvin Cook can't play, I don't think they're going to have much of a shot. I mean, this is a tough one, though. This is a coin flipper. and I've got to make a pick right now whether Cook plays or not. See, if Cook was playing, I think I'd go with the home team on this because I think Minnesota they're this close to being 3-0 instead of 1-2. Boy, this is tough. All right, I'm going to take a flyer. I'm going to say Dalvin Cook does play, and I'm going to go with the home team. I'm going to go with Minnesota.
Okay.
I just think they're going to be playing a little more desperate. They can't be 1-3. They can't. In that division, I don't think they want to go 1-3. I mean, granted, the Lions and the Bears are already out of it, but still. Speaking of the Lions and the Bears, next up, 1 o'clock on Fox, the Lions visit the Bears. How do you like that for a segue?
Yeah, that's a perfect segue. And I'm gonna go against my usual instinct, which is like the division games when they're like really close. I just go with the home team. But I know, like I've been talking up the Lions all this time, so I'm gonna think the Lions are gonna get their first win here. Just seeing how the Bears have been playing, and I should not be doing this because the NFL always bites you when you do this. When you take put too much on like a recent game, and just carry it over. The NFL kind of auto corrects you, but I think the Lions will get their first win because they're just being very competitive.
I'm with you. I think the Lions are hungrier. I think they're a little more confident as a team. The Bears right now, I think, don't know which way is up, and a lot of that has to do with the quarterback situation. Fields got pretty beat up, and they're not sure he's going to play this week.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Dalton's out for a couple weeks, so now it falls to Nick Foles, maybe? Matt Nagy said, I'm not sure yet. I don't know.
Yeah, he's not sure of anything.
I don't know. Yeah, no, he's not sure of much, is he? That Chicago Bears have to get a new coach. Yeah, I think the Lions, I think they're hungry, and I think they're legitimately pissed off.
Yeah.
Over these 3 losses by a whisper.
Especially this last game, yeah.
Yeah. And this is kind of a game where I think the pressure's off Jared Goff at this point, right?
Yep, for sure.
He doesn't need to prove anything. He doesn't need to be the man. They're 0-3. I mean, they're already looking up, and it can't get any worse than this. So a quarterback like him, who can just go out and play loosey-goosey, play with house money because there's nothing really on the line here, will perform. He's got the talent to perform. All his problems are up here.
Yeah.
So, I'm going with you. Lions on the road to stun Chicago. And by the way, did you see Chicago? The Bears bought a plot of land today. I forgot what the place is. It's some park somewhere in Chicago. They're going to probably move out of Soldier Field to a new stadium. Wonder how that's going to sit with the Bears faithful because that's a shrine. That's like the Packers leaving Lambeau.
Yeah.
That's something that's going to be weird. So we'll have to keep our eye on that one. That'd be like the Cubs leaving Wrigley Field, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Next up, 1 o'clock, CBS. The Houston Texans, the surprisingly improved Houston Texans, travel up to Buffalo.
Yeah. Okay. Jeez. Again, it's the NFL. How did that week 1 Buffalo Pittsburgh game go that way?
I think it was a little bit of the Bills reading their own press that they're a Super Bowl caliber.
Oh yeah, and now they kind of just, hey, we got to get back to the meat and potatoes of what we do. And the last 2 weeks, I mean, it's like this they just put 40 points. It's like, who's going to stop them? I mean, I don't think the Texans are going to put much of a game. And the Texans were interesting when they had Tyrod Taylor in there. I don't think is he back yet.
I was just going to say 2 words.
They were actually
Davis
playing pretty
Mills.
good with him in there.
They were.
But then he got injured. And even with him in there, I'd still pick the Bills. I mean, their defense is matching up with their offense now. It's like, this is crazy. I mean, the Chiefs better watch it if they plan on being there at the end, because this time the Bills aren't going to be that easy. I'm already like projecting to the end of the season. Hey, it goes fast enough. Don't do that.
Yeah,
it's enough. It's bad enough that it goes quickly. Let's just enjoy it. But gotta pick the Bills here.
Yeah. Buffalo at home. 2 words. Davis Mills, rookie quarterback. Nah, ain't happening. I think this is going to be ugly.
Yeah.
Ugly. Next up, 1 o'clock, CBS. The winless Indianapolis Colts travel down to Miami to play your Dolphins.
Yeah,
This is a trap. This is a scary trap game.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I'm picking the Colts to win. Wow. Believe it or not. And it's not. I know it may seem like it's like I'm really down on the Dolphins. I just can't see the Colts going 0-4. But they have all the makings of it. Like is Wentz. When Wentz plays, he can't play that well, and he's playing injured. They have like what all the compliments we used to give this team last year, like with their defense. Like what happened?
They don't look like the same team at all.
At all. Even they're supposed to have a really good running game.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably shouldn't say this because with Jacoby Brissett playing, now his second game under his belt, he probably is going to play very well here. But I'm somehow just going to pick the Colts because I just can't see them going 0-4. That's it.
I'm going Miami. Okay. Carson Wentz. The guy should just give up. Yeah, just give up. I mean, he cannot stay healthy. Did you see him trying to walk on those two bad ankles?
Yeah.
So if he can't play, you got Jacob Eason. And you're right. I mean, the running game, I don't get it. Jonathan Taylor, Naheem Hines, Marlon Mack. Where are these guys? Like, what's going on? And their defense doesn't look very good. I mean, this week they came close. They almost won the game this week. They lost by a field goal. But at some point, I think it just gets so demoralizing. They've got a huge hole to climb out of. I think the only saving grace is that Tennessee lost one game at least, right?
Yep.
But they're already down 2 games to Tennessee going into week 4. They're I don't know. Going down to Miami in the heat, in the muck, in the natural turf. And the Dolphins are better coached. I think they're just better coached. And you're right about Brissett. So I'm going Miami at home on that one. And I know I'll rue that pick because I'll end up chasing 5 or 6 of you next week.
No, I thought I was giving you a gimme.
Deeper and deeper hole for myself.
I thought that was a gimme for you. It's like, who knows?
I think the Colts are in a lot more trouble than they appear to be.
Yeah. Okay.
Because like we said, they don't resemble last year's team in the least bit.
That's so bad.
Not at all. It's like it's like them and the Lions traded uniforms or something. I don't know. Next up, 1 o'clock on Fox, the Washington football team, the underwhelming Washington football team, travels down to the Georgia Dome. I flew over that the other day. That place is huge. It's huge, man. So the Falcons. Falcons have showed me a lot the last 2 weeks.
I know. This was a little tough because of what you just said. Falcons have showed me a lot, and Washington is, especially their defense, is not that defense from last year.
What happened? Did you see Payne get completely tossed this week?
No.
Oh. On the what's that? Good Morning Football. The show on NFL Channel.
Yeah.
They showed like they call it the pancakes of the week, and they have like a pancake thing. He got completely destroyed. I forgot who did it, but lit him up. That's not supposed to happen with a star defensive lineman.
Shoot.
Yeah.
This is really hard because it's like Atlanta's been playing pretty decent, and it's like Washington's not the team we thought. But I'm gonna pick Washington to bounce back. I think it's like now that Heineke's got a couple of good games past him, and that defense has got to show up sometime. I mean, if they don't show up in this game, then I'm kind of just gonna give up on them. But I see them. Not that they're gonna blow them away. I see a very close game, and I think Washington will win this game.
Okay, I'm going Atlanta.
Now we're all over the place.
I know we are.
You're gonna be even with me after this.
I'm going Atlanta because they're home. They're always pretty good at home. Matt Ryan looks like reborn.
He does.
I thought this would be a season where he'd kind of like and kind of go through the motions.
Give up, yeah.
I think maybe it's because he wants to increase his trade value and get the hell out of there.
Well, yeah, there is that.
Maybe. Or, hey, maybe the new coaching staff actually has something going on. Maybe they actually can coach this team. Because there is talent in Atlanta. I mean, they were in the Super Bowl 3 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't lose that much. The Washington on the other side is starting to look like Washington from last year to me, where the first half of the year they were kind of like stumbling around. They were in some games and losing, and then the second half of the year they gelled and it all came together for them. Right? Yeah. They're starting to look that way to me right now. They're kind of discombobulated. And Ron Rivera's a great coach.
Yeah.
He'll figure this out. But I think they're going to go 1-3 before he starts to figure it out.
And they were kind of lucky last year to be in a really crappy division where they could afford to flounder around for a while before doing something.
Yeah, but I think it's pretty apparent that there's the Cowboys and then there's everybody else.
Well, this season, yeah.
Yeah, so far.
Anyway. Last season, yeah.
Okay, let's pack up the 1 o'clock games and move on to the 4 o'clock games. First one, 4:05 Eastern on Fox. The struggling Seahawks travel to San Francisco to take on Jimmy Garoppolo in the 49ers, who will be licking their wounds as well.
Yeah, and I think the Seahawks are going to continue to struggle in this with this week as well. I think the 49ers kind of like are going to write that their offense, and the Seahawks defense is not that great. I'm trying to think of. I know they always have injuries. I'm trying to think if there's any significant injuries, but I don't know. But it's like the Seahawks seems to like just always start the game and they kind of fizzle out pretty fast. They did that against Minnesota. They did that against forgot who it was before that week. I know they've lost 2 games already. And now this is a division game, and they're in, the 49ers are at home, so I'm going to go with them.
I'm also going with the 49ers for the simple fact that they've got to be really upset with giving the game away to Green Bay. They should be 3-0.
Pretty much.
They should be 3-0. And in this division, you can't give games away. This is a tight division. Although you and I both preseason picked the Seattle Seahawks to finish 4th. I think we see them on that trajectory.
Yes, we did.
I think they might be the one team that's going to fall off the cliff and be around 500 this year.
Wow, could we actually be right about that one?
But you got the Rams and the Cardinals and the 49ers are all right now looking dynamite. So the 49ers they don't want to go 2-2 in this division. Wild cards are at a premium in the conference.
Yeah,
you're right.
Not with the Rams doing so well in Arizona as well. So.
And you're right about the Seahawks. It's like they come out and they deliver a 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
But it's almost like that's all they got. They're done after that. That's it. They're like an aging boxer. They come out in the first round and really just lay the haymakers. And then, this is a 10-round fight.
Yeah.
Kind of run out of gas. So, I think the Seahawks they've just lost too many pieces over the years. And they haven't replaced them at the quality that they had before. So. Russell Wilson's almost on an island out there now. Next up, 4:05 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Same division. The Arizona Cardinals travel to L.A. to SoFi Stadium to play the Rams.
That will be a freaking...
This is going to be the game of the week.
So far, I agree. Game of the week. And again, division game. They're both very... equal team, so I'm going to stay with the home team, with the Rams.
Yeah.
But I would not be shocked at all if it goes either way on here.
It's another pick'em. It's another pick'em because both of them have explosive offenses. Both of them have stout defenses. The Cardinals have James Conner.
Yeah.
I just had to make that. Sorry about that. He's a great kid. It's a great story, but James Conner.
And the Rams might take a step back after going up against taking down Tampa Bay. So that might, if they're not careful, they might kind of have a downgrade. But I'm still going to pick them. So.
Yeah, I think the Rams are the best team in the conference. I think the Rams right now.
Yeah,
they are the most balanced top to bottom. There's find a hole on that team. Maybe the running game. But other than that, I got to go Rams at home too, in their palatial new stadium. Next up, 4:25 on CBS, the Pittsburgh Steelers take a ride to Lambeau Field to play against Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers.
How do you think that's going to go? Oh, I mean, the Packers have every bit of a chance as laying an egg here. Like, I think any game they could. It's like the way they kind of like been playing. But they're playing at home. Pittsburgh's is having all sorts of problems on offense, and actually on defense, putting pressure on him. If they can't get pressure on him, he's going to have a field day.
Yep.
So I got to go with the Rams. Hopefully it won't be a blowout. But
the Rams, you mean the Packers?
I mean the Packers, Rams. I'm still on the Rams thing. I got to go with the Packers at home, but I'm hoping it won't be like a blowout or anything. But
the Steelers are so bad, the Rams will beat them. Not even in this game.
That's what I was thinking.
The Rams will beat them remotely. I mean, this is going to be awful. Big Ben's probably not going to last much longer. I don't mean getting pulled because of ineptitude or because of his age. He's going to get creamed.
Oh,
he's been getting hit a lot.
There is that too.
I think he got hit 15 times this week. He got hit 10 or 11 times the week before. Jeez. He's getting killed, and he's 40 years old. So, Packers at home in a rousing defeat. Next up, the Baltimore Ravens. The lucky, last-minute Ravens here. I mean, they're pulling these things out of their dupas. Travel to Denver for 4:25 Eastern kickoff on CBS.
I know it's in Denver, but I think the Ravens got kind of a wake-up call, almost losing a game they should, in their minds, probably should not have any business losing. So I think they're going to come full bear here and give the Broncos their first loss. I'm not saying the Broncos aren't playing their 3-0 record, but it's been kind of like an easy schedule for them so far. They rely a lot on their defense, and I think Jackson and the Ravens offense will put up some numbers on them. So I'm going to go with the Ravens.
Yes, I can't argue with anything you said there. The Broncos are an exciting young team. And I said that at the beginning when we did our preseason picks. Yeah. I really like their offense, and their defense is always, they're stout. Who's really starting to look good is Javonte Williams, their number one pick. Not their number one pick, but they drafted him this year. He looks really good. It's weird because they signed Melvin Gordon, but I think he's already in the doghouse. And I can't figure Melvin Gordon out when he was at the Chargers. The guy was hurt all the time. And when he plays, he's so good. He's very dynamic. But they look like they're putting together something really nice in Denver. And I'm happy for Teddy Bridgewater to this point. He's looked really good.
He's
I
in a good
like
place.
Teddy. And I hope they stick with Teddy for a while.
Me too.
Of course, that means Teddy's got to be performing. And I hope he continues to perform. I've always liked Teddy Bridgewater. He's a great story. I mean, his leg was oatmeal, and he came back, right? Yeah. But you're right. I think the Ravens, their ground game is too much. Their ground game is too much. They're gonna control the ball. They're gonna eat clock. Now, back it up a second. If Harbaugh brings them up there early, like if they're already in Denver, which they should be. Yeah, I just came from Park City, Utah last month, and it took me about 4, almost 5 full days to acclimate to the thin air. It's brutal, man. You walk up a flight of stairs and you're like, so if the Ravens are out there now, which they should be, if they're going to run the ball, you need to be conditioned to run the ball in that kind of altitude. And I'm assuming Harbaugh's not a dummy. I bet they're out there. So I got a feeling, too. I think the Ravens are just a better team. They're more experienced. They know how to win these kind of games. So I'm going to go Baltimore on the road as well. Next up, this one's shock. I didn't even know this game was on the schedule. 8:00 Sunday night on NBC. Tampa Bay goes to New England.
Yeah.
Did you hear about this?
Yeah. Yep.
You did.
Yep.
How, am I the only one who didn't know this was going on?
I mean,
you can't get away from this one.
I mean, you
Every
can't,
time you turn on the TV, oh, Tom Brady's going back to New England.
They've been trying to put that game out since way before preseason. I know.
Oh, as soon as the schedule dropped, it was like, oh, everybody look, week 4. Come on, this isn't hard to call. We know what's going to happen.
I got people coming out of out of the world. It's like, oh no, Tampa Bay can't lose to the Rams because they got to go in, flawless or whatever. Nope. And because they lost this game, I'm even more picking them this time because they're going to be so mad. Brady's going to be like, I mean, if he doesn't already have enough reasons to beat New England, now they come off a brutal loss, and it's like, I don't know how New England's going to be able to keep up with them. Their offense is very vanilla, and their defense isn't going to be able to stop Tampa Bay for long.
You know how Bill Belichick completely immobilizes rookie quarterbacks?
Oh yeah.
This week his quarterback's going to be immobilized.
That's right. He won't be able to stop Brady. He's not a rookie.
Belichick wants this in the worst way. But he just doesn't have the personnel.
That's the thing. Yeah.
He doesn't have the personnel to deal with this. He'll coach a good game. They'll be solid for 2 quarters maybe. But Tom Brady's going to put the hammer down on this team.
He's going to want to, yeah.
I think it's going to get ugly, especially in the second half. I think it's going to be sad because the we'll call them the normies, the casual football fans will start writing off Bill Belichick as a bad coach and he only won because of Tom and all this kind of nonsense, right? You can't do that. This is a 53-man game. And his 53 guys don't hold a candle to Tampa Bay's 53 guys.
That's the thing.
And the most important guy, he's got probably the best quarterback of all time on one side, and a rookie, a stone-cold rookie in his 4th game on the other side. Come on. I mean, you can't blame Bill Belichick for that.
No. Oh, no one.
They're just in 2 different situations. It's not even. Come on. It's not. It's apples in very small rocks. It's not even close. Tampa Bay on the road all the way. And then the last game Monday night, another great game. The Vegas Raiders, 3-0 Vegas Raiders, travel to SoFi Stadium. LA's got 2 home games this week to play the Chargers.
Those division games are going to be all so good.
Both West divisions are awesome. Both of them.
Yeah, so you got Arizona Rams, and now you got the Chargers and the Raiders. Wow.
And the Chiefs, and then Denver.
Yeah, I hate to just fall back on the whole thing, but I probably said it 3 or 4 times already. But I'm gonna go with the Chargers because I think these 2 teams are very even, and the Chargers are at home. Although that didn't work out very well last week when the Chargers went into Kansas City to beat them. So you can't always rely on that. But the Chargers are just I knew they were going to be better, and Herbert's impressive, but it's they're doing things I was like, wow, you guys are trying to audition for the most exciting team in the league.
They were auditioning for that last year. They
True.
just let a lot of games get away from them. I'm with you. I'm going with the gangster quarterback at home, Herbert. And I think the Raiders have been the cardiac kids of the NFL this year. Every single game, overtime. This Brian Edwards guy, the Brian Edwards, right? Every single game, he doesn't catch a single pass until the game's on the line. The game's on the line. And Carr's just kind of he's floating him out there, and Edwards is running under him and catching him. It's amazing. That would just save him for the 4th quarter and overtime.
It's true. You made a good point in terms of how many of those type games can you keep winning? Yeah, I think that the magic carpet ride ends this week for the Raiders. They're going to be brought down to earth. They can't do it for a 4th straight week. Pull one out of their rear ends like that. So I'm Chargers at home. Pretty decisively, too, I think. At some point, the Raiders are going to have to decide, start, if they want to go somewhere, start winning decisive games like where you put a team away pretty early. You're just going to this last minute thing. You're just like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's exciting for the fans. It's just for them.
Oh,
it's
fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's really great for the networks are enjoying every minute of it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, you can't consistently do that for
and
4
win.
months and win. Yeah. So, all right, that's it for our Week 4 picks. We are done with that.
I think we had like 3 of them. 3.
I think we did 3, maybe 4 different this time.
See, you're gonna catch right up.
We'll see about it. We'll fall way behind. There's 2 sides to every coin there, Edson.
Yeah.
So again, we plead with you people, give us your picks in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe to the channel, please. And again, if you do your picks and you'd like to come on and tell us what bozos we are, you're more than welcome to come on and tell us what bozos we are. We'll have you come on and pick against
I welcome any criticism.
Exactly. So you can do that by sending us a DM, leave it in the comments, whatever you want to do. Socials you can see above us. Wait, I'm over here above us there, GeekTimeNet, and someone will get back to you. All right, that's it for me. Is that it for you?
Yep. It'll be okay. The first quarter of the season over next week.
Yeah.
Pretty soon we'll be doing our forking thing. Though you already started.
God! I was just gonna say. I was gonna say it's starting to take shape now, so we can get our forks ready.
Although you already forked somebody today.
Yeah, I'm forking this team right here.
Oh,
the one on my hat. They're done. So. All right. Well, that's it for me. That's it for you. Everybody, enjoy Week 4. We'll see you next week for our Week 4 roundup and our Week 5. Week 5.
I know. I can't think. I'm glad we have that extra week.
Me too. This is too much fun. See ya. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up below. Also, please subscribe to GeekTime TV. It really helps us grow the channel. And make sure you hit that bell icon in order to receive notifications every time we drop new content here. You can also check us out on social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at GeekTimeNet. Thanks again for watching. We will see you soon.
Say, kids, what time is that?